Listen closely. The moment you were warned about isn't coming. It's here, right now. We're plunging into the final, most volatile phase of this Mercury retrograde, and believe me, most people are sleepwalking straight into the turbulence. They think the storm is passing. They have no idea the real impact is about to hit. This isn't some gentle fade-out. Forget what you think you know. The last 24, maybe 48 hours before Mercury grinds to a halt and stations direct, this is the energetic minefield. It's the most chaotic, the most unstable, the point where everything hangs in the balance. You've heard the whispers, the warnings about Mercury retrograde itself, the communication breakdowns, the tech glitches, the travel nightmares. But no one talks about the hangover. Let me be crystal clear. The official retrograde might tick over tomorrow, maybe the day after, but the energy, the unresolved threads, the things left hanging, if you don't consciously cut those ties now, you drag that chaotic baggage with you into the next cycle. And here's where it gets absolutely critical, where the universe demands your full attention. What you do today, what you allow today, what you avoid today. It doesn't just vanish when Mercury appears to go direct. No, it gets embedded. It gets locked in. It becomes the energetic foundation, the vibrational signature you carry forward. It's like stepping in wet cement. The imprint you make right now is what hardens. That's why I need to reach you. There are specific actions, specific energetic alignments you must engage with before this window slams shut. Because if you don't, the consequences won't be immediate booming thunder. There'll be subtle ripples at first, disturbances beneath the surface, growing stronger, twisting your path for weeks, maybe months to come. You'll feel off, blocked, wondering why things aren't flowing, tracing it back to this very moment of neglect. And pay attention, there's a very specific, seemingly random emotional wave that might crash over you today, out of nowhere. Intense, maybe confusing. Do not brush it aside. It's not just a mood swing. It's a signal. There's a hidden, profound reason it's surfacing now, and if you ignore it, you miss a critical release. I'll expose exactly what that means later in this transmission, so stick around. It's vital you understand. But first, there's a fundamental misunderstanding, ALIE, you've likely been fed about this entire retrograde phenomenon. And if you don't see through it, right here, right now, you risk wasting this incredibly potent window of transformation, this chance to recalibrate your entire reality. Let me ask you something right now. Drop it in the comments below. What's the one word that comes to mind when you hear Mercury retrograde? Be honest. Is it chaos? Fear? Annoying? Write that word down. We need to face this programming head-on. Here's the truth they don't want you to grasp. Mercury retrograde was never designed to break you. It wasn't sent to punish you or trip you up just for cosmic kicks. That's the surface-level fear narrative. The real purpose? It was meant to expose you. Think about it. Most people treat retrograde like a cosmic flu season. Hide away, don't start anything new, blame everything that goes wrong on the planets. But what if that entire mindset is a trap? What if retrograde is actually the most sacred, intensive audit of your life you could ever ask for? This isn't about merely surviving the perceived chaos. It's not about gritting your teeth and waiting for it to be over. It's about witnessing where the chaos already lives inside you. It's about seeing, with unflinching honesty, where your own internal systems are breaking down. This period, this pressure cooker, it held up a mirror. It showed you precisely where you speak without thinking, where you run from uncomfortable truths where your boundaries crumble under pressure, where your old programming still runs the show. That wasn't an attack. That wasn't bad luck. That was a diagnostic, a cosmic spotlight showing you the cracks in your foundation before you try to build something new on top of them. And now, right now, you're standing on the precipice, the absolute edge, the final moments before the energy shifts, before the audit concludes. This is your chance, your opportunity to look at that reflection and decide, to lock in your new standard, to declare who you are on the other side of this intensity. That fear you feel, that hesitation, it's just static interference. The real power isn't in avoiding the storm, it's in choosing how you navigate it, who you become because of it. You weren't meant to fear chaos. You were designed to master it. Now, here's something counterintuitive, something most spiritual guides won't tell you, maybe because it sounds strange. But trust me, there's deep power here, especially in these final, charged hours. I want you to consciously, deliberately make a mess. Yes, you heard me. Not destructive chaos, but symbolic disorder. Go into a room, safely, mindfully, and disrupt the order. Scatter some clothes. Scribble absolute gibberish on a piece of paper with intensity. Unfold laundry you just folded. Maybe even safely spill a little water on the floor. Create a small pocket of deliberate, contained chaos. Then pause, breathe, and clean it up. Calmly, methodically, with absolute presence and focus. Fold the clothes perfectly. Tear up the gibberish and discard it. Mop up the water. Restore the order. Why? Why this seemingly bizarre ritual? Because this is more than just a quirky task. This is potent psychological and spiritual alchemy. We are programmed from childhood to fear mess, to fear mistakes, to strive for constant, often rigid, perfection. We're taught that disorder is bad, that losing control is failure. But right now, in these critical final retrograde hours, you are invited to recode that narrative at a core level. When you intentionally create a small, manageable chaos and then calmly, powerfully restore harmony, you send an undeniable message to your subconscious, to the universe itself. You are declaring, I am not afraid of disorder. I am not thrown by unexpected shifts. I trust my ability to navigate complexity. I know how to find my center, how to restore balance. I remember that I am the one holding the brush, painting my reality. This act of controlled disruption and conscious restoration speaks volumes louder than simple affirmations. It's embodied proof, its energy in tangible motion. It's a living sigil declaring, I don't fear misalignment because I know how to return to center. And isn't that the entire point of this retrograde? Facing the internal chaos, the misalignments revealed, and choosing not to panic, but to consciously organize, cleanse, and reshape it from a place of power. Because here's the dangerous truth. If you don't learn to hold chaos gently, to engage with it consciously, it will hold you tightly, and its grip is suffocating. But now that you've performed this ritual, now that you've proven to yourself and the cosmos that you can dance with disorder and find your rhythm again, the real test, the deeper integration, begins. And understand this, the veil isn't snapping shut just yet. The energetic spotlight isn't suddenly turning off. And most importantly, you are not alone tonight. As we move through these final, potent hours before Mercury pivots, something else profound is occurring. Something unseen, but deeply felt, if you allow yourself to be still enough, sensitive enough. You are being observed, spiritually, energetically, intuitively, not by some creepy, invasive presence. No, think of it as a cosmic council. Your guides, your ancestors, your highest self, perhaps even aspects of the planetary intelligence involved. They are here, hovering close, paying keen attention. They are watching your moves, yes, monitoring your thoughts, your reactions, your choices in these final moments. But not to judge, not to punish. They are here to assess, to witness. What did you truly learn during this intense period? What uncomfortable truths did you finally face, and which did you desperately avoid? What old patterns did you courageously break? And what new structures did you begin to build within yourself? Because right now, based on your resonance, your demonstrated awareness, your willingness to grow, they are calibrating what unlocks for you next. What blessings you've shown you're ready to receive. What higher timelines, what new potentials you've earned energetic access to. This isn't random chance. This isn't fate dealing you a hand blindly. This is a sacred checkpoint, an energetic evaluation. And it's not about achieving some impossible standard of perfection. Forget that. It's about awareness. It's about being present, conscious of your energy, your power, your choices, even the small ones. So tonight, carry yourself differently. Act as if your wisest, most radiant higher self is standing right beside you, observing with love. Because, energetically speaking, they are. Speak like someone who understands their words weave reality. Think like someone who knows their thoughts are blueprints. Move through your world like someone being scanned for energetic alignment and readiness. You don't need to pretend. You just need to show up. Embody the frequency of the version of you who already knows the lessons, who is already becoming who you aspire to be. This night is a profound mirror, and the reflection you cast in these final hours, that reflection becomes the energetic pathway forward. Now, let's talk about words, because some words, some expressions are intrinsically tied to energetic windows, and this specific window, it's closing fast. There are certain truths, certain communications that carry maximum power only when released at the right energetic moment. Call it fate, call it divine timing, call it cosmic alignment. Whatever it is, that time is now. Not tomorrow when Mercury has stationed. Not next week when things feel calmer. Tonight. This Mercury retrograde likely had many of us holding back. Words caught in the throat like thorns. Feelings buried deep under layers of logic and shoulds. Decisions left hanging, suspended in the limbo of uncertainty and silence. But here's the secret most people miss. The very end of Mercury retrograde, these final hours, creates a unique, powerful golden hour for authentic expression. And that hour is rapidly shrinking. Is there something you've been aching to say? Don't get lost in overthinking the perfect phrasing. Maybe it's a raw truth you've swallowed down one too many times. Maybe it's a difficult message you typed out and deleted countless times. Perhaps it's a vulnerability, a confession, a boundary you've rehearsed in your mind but never dared to voice. This is your cosmic permission slip. If you don't allow it release now, that unspoken energy doesn't just disappear. It will echo inside you, growing louder, heavier, potentially manifesting as blockages or resentment later. Sometimes, saying the wrong thing imperfectly is infinitely better than letting the silence fester. Not everything needs a polished script. Some things just need AIR. They need release. Spiritually, energetically, silence becomes a crushing weight when it's held onto past its expiration date, especially when it involves withheld truth or suppressed emotion. This isn't about reckless impulsivity. It's about profound, energetic alignment. And right now, the celestial energies are cracking open a space, offering you a rare, raw chance to let your truth fly free. Say what's been sitting heavy on your soul. Say it to the person involved. Say it to yourself in the mirror. Write it down and burn it. Speak it out loud to the universe. Just get it out of your system. Because if you don't, that stagnant, unspoken energy risks getting locked into your next cycle like a persistent ghost, rattling chains, constantly knocking, demanding attention. Speak tonight, before the silence swallows it whole. And what about those things you let go of? The projects, the ideas, the sparks that felt like they fizzled out during the retrograde intensity? What you dropped, it wasn't necessarily a failure. Think of it as a seed that was temporarily buried, waiting for the right conditions, the new light to germinate. Mercury Retrograde is notorious for disruption, yes. It makes us second-guess our brilliance, question our plans, hit pause on things that once felt electrifying. But understand this crucial distinction. Retrograde doesn't destroy what is truly meant for you. It simply pauses it. It distills it. It forces you to prove to yourself and the cosmos how much you actually want it. It tests your commitment. And now, right before Mercury shifts gear, you have this potent, reflective chance. Look back over the past few weeks. Ask yourself, with radical honesty, what did I abandon too soon? What spark did I let doubt extinguish prematurely? Maybe it was that blog post you didn't publish, that creative project you shelved halfway through. Maybe it was a business idea that felt overwhelming, or even a crucial conversation you planned, but fear kept you from initiating. Now is the time to bring one of those things back into your energetic field. Just one. Hold it in your mind. Feel its potential again. Does it still resonate? Does it still call to you? Does it feel electrically alive? Or has the energy genuinely shifted, telling you it's time to release it fully? The universe often pauses the music, so you can consciously decide which songs are still worth dancing to. This isn't about desperately clinging to old, outdated timelines. It's about recognizing what still holds a powerful vibrational signature for you, what still genuinely belongs to your path of becoming. Pick that one thing you dropped. Revisit it tonight with fresh eyes, retrograde-honed clarity. If it sparks something real, something undeniable, do not wait for the stars to give you another perfect sign. That impulse, that reignited spark, is the sign. Move with it now, even a small step. Because when Mercury hits play again tomorrow, you want to already be in motion, aligned with the energies you intend to cultivate. Which brings us to the most critical point of all, the culmination. What you touch today, energetically, emotionally, physically, becomes your solidified reality tomorrow. This is it, the wet cement moment we spoke of earlier, the spiritual crystallization. What you consciously connect with now, your thoughts, your words, your actions, the feeling state you cultivate, this is the imprint that hardens once Mercury stations direct. This is the energetic frequency that gets locked in. And terrifyingly, most people are sleepwalking right through this profoundly potent moment of creation. These final 24 hours aren't just the end of a cycle, they are the foundational imprint for the next. So let me deliver the hard truth. If you spend these crucial hours marinating in resentment, scrolling passively through negativity, feeding chaos, complaining, vibrating at a low frequency, that is the energetic tone You are setting for your next chapter, not because the universe is punishing you, but because this window solidifies the frequency you choose to embody. But the flip side. The flip side. That's where your power ignites. If instead you consciously choose to focus on clarity, if you touch your intentions with presence and gratitude, if you clean up your mental space, declutter your physical space, if you speak your goals out loud with conviction, if you meditate on your inherent worthiness, if you deliberately cultivate feelings of peace, joy, or anticipation, you are literally wiring your next chapter with conscious, high vibrational intention. Light that candle with purpose. Write down that brilliant idea again, feeling its potential. Revisit the plan you made. Have the empowering conversation. Physically, touch an object that represents the growth, the abundance, the love you are calling in. Speak to the future version of you as if they are already here, cheering you on. Everything you consciously touch today, physically, emotionally, mentally, is a powerful vote cast for your next reality. Do not let this moment slip into mindless autopilot. Do not treat today like some insignificant waiting period. Because tomorrow, that energetic door closes, the cement hardens, and the energy you embodied, the seeds you planted, will begin to unfold. So touch wisely. Choose consciously. This is how timelines are not just predicted, but actively built. And finally, remember that strange, emotional wave I warned you about? The one that might hit you out of nowhere? The sudden urge to cry? The inexplicable lump in your throat? If it happens, it does not mean you're breaking down. It means something old, something heavy, something you didn't even realize you were still carrying, finally broke loose. This is the emotional reaction I needed you to understand. There's a different quality to tears shed today. It's not just surface-level stress or fleeting sadness. It runs deeper. It feels ancient, like your very cells are holding onto invisible baggage that is finally rising to the surface, demanding release. You could be going about your day, feeling relatively stable, and then, bam, that wave hits. A profound heaviness behind your eyes, an ache in your chest. You might not even be able to pinpoint why logically, but some deep, intuitive part of you knows. It's time to let this go. This isn't random emotional static. This is energetic movement. These final retrograde hours often stir the deepest, oldest sediment in your emotional body. Think of it like a cosmic rinse cycle. What hasn't been fully processed, fully healed, fully released, gets agitated, brought up to the surface, not to punish you, but to finally liberate you from burdens you were never meant to carry into your future. The tears that might surface now, they don't need a logical narrative to be valid. They don't need a specific memory attached. Their very appearance is the reason. It signifies that something dense, something stagnant, is leaving your system. And the more you resist, the more you try to stifle it, or be strong, the louder and more uncomfortable that internal pressure becomes. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. Your nervous system is attempting a massive exhale. It's trying to release stored trauma, old grief, energetic imprints that your conscious mind might have long forgotten or suppressed. And when that pressure finds release, when the tears flow freely without judgment, your entire energetic timeline gets lighter, recalibrated. That's why the crying today feels different. It's not just emotional, it's profoundly spiritual. It's your system, literally rewriting old code. You might weep for something you thought you healed years ago, You might cry over a seemingly insignificant moment from your past you didn't realize lodged itself so deeply. You might feel waves of memory, confusion, and then afterward, an inexplicable sense of profound peace or emptiness. That is the process completing itself. Letting those tears move isn't weakness. It is profound wisdom in action. It's your body intelligence saying unequivocally, "We are done carrying this density." Because what's coming next, the reality you are stepping into, cannot be built upon repressed, stagnant energy. The next cycle, your next level of becoming, needs space. It needs room to breathe. And right now, that space is being cleared. So if it happens, if you feel that welling up, please don't fight it. Don't judge it. Don't frantically search for a reason. Simply allow it. Breathe through it. Let it wash over you like sacred water, carrying old stories out to sea. Visualize every tear, leaving your body, taking a piece of the old, heavy narrative with it. Because the fewer old stories you carry into tomorrow, the more expansive the blank page becomes for new ones to begin. Which brings us to tomorrow, the moment the tide officially turns. Tomorrow isn't just another day on the calendar. It's not just the end of retrograde. It is your energetic launch pad. When Mercury finally stations direct, it doesn't just flip some invisible switch light years away. It initiates a palpable shift in momentum. A current that begins to flow forward again. A current you can feel deep in your bones if you're paying attention. You might not see celestial fireworks, but your energy field, it will know the difference. And whatever frequency, whatever intention, whatever unresolved energy you are holding in your mind, your body, your immediate space, as that forward momentum kicks in, it will start moving with that current. This is the moment where things either get powerfully carried forward into manifestation or get definitively left behind in the receding tide. That's why tomorrow morning isn't just another weekday. It's the energetic first impression of your entire next chapter. And tragically, most people will wake up groggy, distracted, scrolling mindlessly, stumbling into the day completely oblivious, caught in yesterday's static, utterly unaware of the profound spiritual gravity, the creative potential of the moment they've just stepped into. But not you. Not after hearing this. Because if you've been feeling the pressure, the weirdness, the inner stirring, the emotional chaos these past few weeks, it wasn't meaningless static. It was preparation. It was the universe slowing things down, creating friction, forcing you to look, really look, at what needed to change, what needed to shift, what needed to finally click into a new alignment. And now, tomorrow is your entry point, your chance to step across the threshold consciously. So move like you mean it. Not with some forced, fake perfection, not with performative confidence, but with a quiet, grounded knowing that your energy, your focus, your intention matters profoundly in this moment. Because it absolutely does. What you choose to think about first thing tomorrow morning will leave an energetic fingerprint. What you choose to give your precious time and attention to, even in the smallest, seemingly insignificant ways, sets off a ripple into the unfolding current. Because what's about to ripple outwards from this point won't just shape your immediate path, it might just reveal it in ways you cannot yet imagine. And once you truly see it, once that clarity dawns, there is absolutely no unseeing it. The question is, are you ready for what's waiting on the other side? If you've stayed with me through this entire transmission, I want to genuinely thank you for your energy and attention. This wasn't light information. If this resonated, if you felt the truth in these words and want to continue exploring these deeper energetic currents, please consider clicking that subscribe button. Your presence and support fuel this work, and it is deeply appreciated. Feel free to share any experiences, insights, or even just that one word you wrote down earlier in the comments below. Let's create a conscious community navigating these shifts together. Until next time, navigate these final hours wisely. Take profound care of your energy. And remember to subscribe for more content designed to unlock your awareness.